A mural is any piece of artwork painted or applied directly on a wall, a ceiling, or permanent surface. A distinguishing characteristic of a mural painting is that the architectural elements of the given space are harmoniously incorporated into the picture. If you look closely, you can see what the artist sees. To see, you don't need eyes, you need vision. I'd rather be filthy rich than dirt poor. It'll make you pay bottom dollar for top shelf. That usually means you have less money than cents. $1,000 bill and $12 is all I got left. That's a 12-inch tab if looks could kill. I'd have died if I tipped out Duke and couldn't foot the bill chicken. All the times like Drake, I bought the bar and watched my homies get split as daylight till daylight. And that's okay cause they saw a star. This shit is staged, watching time is money Audemars. Like I see the Mars, I slide off in my Audi car, awesome drive. That's when it hit me, I'm actually nicer to people I never saw before. Why Jada? Am I a product of my environment? Am I destined to acquire products that get you high cause they not hiring? It'll cost you, you ain't got that sale money. See, freedom rings as long as your straw man got that bail money. That's a AA battery charge, no need to Babylon. They got a license to print profits, I put the Bible on it. Imagine what it'd be like to literally make millions, like literally rolling in dough. Straight shillings. Listen, when you spend money like water, you drown in debt. Don't just do it. You ain't got the cash, don't get the check. It is clear. Look at your account, no disrespect. Believe it, you ain't got cohort cash, they can freeze it. While all your streams of income lead to a bank, what's a cash flow? Come on, I need you to think, what's a crime wave? Why they say freeze when they police you? Money don't grow on trees, but it's the root of all evil. It's senseless. This paper ain't worth a dime. Who prints it? They monopolize, demonetize. I ask a lot of questions, so I'm all kind of wise. When you refuse to stick your head in the sand, you get ostracized. That's why I give them a big birdie ostrich size. You ain't free in your father's creed, son. It's all paralyzed. They got my blood rushing Drago. I'm perturbed, I'm appalled. They gave us a good brainwashing, really. I applaud. I marvel how DC got our money funny. It's comical. It's cause Stan Lee and Apostle Paul got them believing that heroes exist and exist at the cloudy fog. Got them robbing Peter to pay apostles to Paul's. All this time they were using Peter and Paul and robbing y'all. The truth hurts. They say, how you gonna trample on your old stepstone? They say it been gassed up ever since they put the X on them. That's cool. See, I have the truth, so I have the double edge on them. But I won't stop pressing till my death is etched sketched in the upper echelon. The best way to send a message is to stand, never kneel. Listen, they print money and stare at their hands in the till. I mean, they got the green thumb. If I never seen one, every payday they get the first cut. Seen one before dusk dawn. We were said to be spawned from dust, what I was taught. Then I heard we indigenous like the tomahawk. Minorious Bible, the irony. Turns out we older than the Bible. That's not what mama thought. That's not my mama fault. What if I said black history was mixed with black? A little snake story and a bit of myth. Before we were enslaved and blackmailed, if you get my drift. From serpent head dresses, the dress of serpents is significant. Headed for American land, you're the slave. Having a hissy fit slip, the shit hard to maneuver through the manure. Treated worse than a piece of shit. Couldn't get tombstones or boxes to be delivered and shipped in. Just heard a race in the first place. They overreact, you go overboard. Positive, you become seaworthy. Negative, you lose your birthplace. Arrive on a new land in the worst state. Uncolonized, they force change the till by buck breaking. You getting colonized, sodomized, praying God burn down the town. God's got it, hold your water, goddamn. God's got a plan, but the fire never ran to the ground. Hell, I guess it's cause they held a lot of land. Preachers inherit a lot of land. Teaching hell is where a lot of land is believed in and programmed into a lot of lamb. It's like hitting a lot of damn. Let's go hard, no more excuses. That's what my ex used. She left me, I let her. I could have pulled a card again, but I didn't sweat her. Would I sell my soul? You kidding me? I'd rather be buried 6 feet with dignity. And don't try me. The chrome will hit your dome and you'll die hair. Drew Hill. Take it to the end of the road when I give you crew to group deal. Last one. What if willing to die means you have to be wielding 2 dice to leave your mark on the world before you pass on? Murals.
What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? Hope everybody doing good this rise. We're going to have a real good talk today, man. So this build is on rising from hell, okay, the root chakra. A lot of you guys been asking that I go back into some of my esoteric teachings, things that help us have a better understanding of the world around us and even our own bodies at the same time. There's a world inside of you. There's also a world outside of you. We were supposed to be taught how to use the world inside of us to navigate the world outside of us, but we weren't. We were taught that knowledge was everything external to us, but that's untrue. Education is everything external to us. Knowledge, we were born with. We were born spiritually endowed with it from within, buried within our DNA, having all the answers for knowledge, just like the attribute of God, all knowing. And this is why many cultures understand that we are, in fact, this being through and through. Some religions look at it like God is separate from man. Some look at it like they are universal, okay? Even the Bible itself has people arguing about are we God and God is us, or is there a God and then there is us? You can read the Bible and come away with two different ideas. The moral of the story is there's always a yin and a yang, but they're both the totality. You cannot have one without the other. You cannot have man without God. You cannot have God without man. Who is a God with no one to worship it? What is air with no one to breathe it? What is light with no one to see it? What is sound with no one to hear it? These things are simultaneously, guys. What is good if there is no evil? What is sweet if there is no bitter? The moment one thing is created, so is another. The moment you say this tastes good, it must mean something tastes bad, right? Otherwise, there'd be no need to describe it. It would just be. Right? So today we're going to learn about how we take the inside of us, the outside of us, bring them together and rise through the ladder to conquer your higher self. So we all have a primal state. In that state, we're more savage than ever. We move without thinking because the thought in mind, the intent is to survive. You guys look all the way back in history. The further you look back, the law of polarity, you're absolutely right, Rakita. The further you look back, guys, the more savage we were, okay? Even currently in our world today, we're in a first world country, okay? The lower you get on the social spectrum, the more savage, okay, people become. The lower their standards are for what they consume and put in their body because food is very rare. So we're going to talk about what it's like to have an overactive root chakra. And many of you, that term may be unfamiliar. It may sound ridiculously spooky, whatever the case may be. But we're going to learn about it and realize that this is not something that's uncommon. While it may seem like some new age type of thinking, it is in fact something that's been practiced in every single culture all across the planet. We have energy zones inside of our bodies, guys. This is why you guys go get Reiki. This is why you guys get acupuncture. Okay, these energy centers literally exist inside of your body. And these concepts are put in place to help you understand how to navigate through these energy fields, how to unlock them, how to keep them all turning. Chakra literally means spinning wheel inside of you with bursts of energy outside of it. So, and we have these energy chakras inside of us, okay? We're going to get into it, family. First, let me give you guys some shout outs, okay? Good rise, Gina Hayes. Welcome in. Rakita Pender. Peace, peace, peace. Darlene Lee. Welcome in. Welcome in. Queen Lacey, rise, rise. Welcome in, love. Rakita Pender. Welcome in. Again, she said law of polarity. A great contribution already. Hope you got time to stay tuned. Shantae, welcome in. I hope everybody's doing well. And everybody, let's give Lacey a shout out, Jamie a shout out. Please follow them because they're doing amazing on their pages, doing their thing. And we got some stuff we're going to be bringing to you guys soon. So I want you guys to already hit that bell, that subscribe button so you can get that stuff first. Okay. But We're going to talk about chakra. Okay, let me get something that can show us something with chakra here real quick, just so we can have something to look at. Let's see here. 1 second. We're just going to Google image this thing through. You guys got your phones. You can look this stuff up too as we go along. If you don't have time, just ride and enjoy it. The images will be here. But we're going to do this. We're going to go. Just going to give you this image here. Let's see. Here we go. Now, I'm sure you guys have probably seen this on pendants. If you're not really familiar with it, you've seen this on the pendants and stuff like that, at least. Clothing. You've seen this depicted as a rainbow because, as you can see, the chakra colors are based on color spectrums, right? And believe it or not, they're very scientific. They're not just color-coded for fun, okay? The color spectrum, based on how we see color, right? It's based on the amount of vibration from the thing to us, to our eyes, right? And that's what generates different colors. Speed of the vibration, all these different things leads to what colors you're actually going to witness with your eyes, okay? This is why I say you got two worlds. There's something inside of you creating the world outside of you. Through the snake's eyes, things appear differently. This is why they say the tiger's orange. We can see it clearly, but to animals who eat grass, their eyes are made a little differently, okay? They consume chlorophyll, and orange and green in their eyes is chlorophyll. So it appears the same. So the lion looks like grass walking, which is freaking crazy camouflage that we never give, not the lion, but the tiger. We never give the tiger credit for it because we can't see it in action. There was a guy who showed how animals see the tiger. That's a scary sight. Imagine a damn bush of grasses with big ass teeth running at you, right? Like just imagine that. So when you see the tiger crouching down and you see how it moves its shoulders from side to side, it looks like grass moving back and forth. And the tiger doesn't necessarily know that it has these stripes for that reason, but genetically, it knows to crouch like this. Every animal instinctually is in sync with their camouflage, with the thing that helps them survive. I think it's freaking amazing, okay? But on the lowest part of the spectrum, you're going to have red. You can look it up. Lowest spectrum is infrared, okay? Infrared, okay? And as the spectrum speed up, bouncing up and down, it creates a vibration. The faster that goes, it gets all the way up to ultraviolet. And I know we've heard these terms in science and things like that's an ultraviolet ray, right? That's an infrared ray, okay? They knew this back then because it wasn't based on guesswork. It was based on the color spectrum. You see this created in the sky all the time on the road. When there's a rain, okay, you can see these colors recreate, okay? You can see this in fire. Why is the flame blue as opposed to red? Why is your eyes seeing the flame as blue as opposed to red, even in the same fire? Why is parts of it yellow? Why would a fire separate like that? Color means something to us. If we were out in nature, we would understand what all these things mean through and through because it would come natural. We're removed from that environment. We're zooed pretty much. We're in a zooed environment. Away from our natural surroundings, we don't have to use our instincts to survive. If we were in the real world, guys, hunting for our survival, fishing for our survival, planting for it, we would walk daily. The amount of terrain we would cover to hunt would keep us healthy, more athletic than ever. The foods that we would eat would be real food. It wouldn't be out of boxes, okay? We are so lost because we are in this zoo, okay? A lion doesn't know what its food is. Neither do we, guys, okay? If you go out in nature right now and say, just go out here and survive, you'll be like hard pressed. What you mean survive? What is supermarket? What do we, what, when, where, why? And this is why they say if you take a lion out of the zoo and put it in the wild, it'll die of starvation because it doesn't have the speed required, the strength required that would be developed through a lifetime of hunting to even take an animal down. But why wouldn't it just chase a smaller animal, right? Even the concept of hunting is gone to the lion. It doesn't know. So we would be the same way. If you just strip us right now of our overhead, just put us out there. If the government said, get out of our country, you're on your own right now. Your money is just done. It's over with. We don't accept currency more. Money collapses. You're done. You're cooked, right? Many of us, it's over. We don't know how to survive out here. It would immediately recreate an overactive root chakra. Okay, so each one of these chakra has different different attributes. Okay, so the root chakra is based on your survival, your lowest foundational standpoint, your earth, guys. You guys have heard of grounding, right? Where you base your feet on the earth, absorbing the earth's energy. And this provides so many different things in your body, right? All this is foundational, okay? From your root chakra. Root chakra, it's a beautiful thing. So there's nothing wrong with the root chakra, but having an overactive root chakra is where you can cause the problems, okay? And so we're going to get into a really exciting part of this, all right? You're going to see how this was before our religions, okay? This concept existed before our religions. It's even in our religions, okay? So this is deep. We're going to have some fun with this today, though. Welcome in, everybody. I see some more people coming in. Hit the like button as your guys come in. We about to learn some stuff because there's been a whole lot going around us, toxic situations, and many of us are glued to them and trying to break away. And we're wondering, why is it's so hard to break away? What this trauma, what this toxic activity has done was created an overactive root chakra. And you can't just expect this stuff to settle, to be balanced out. You have to do the work. We all have to do the work. But unfortunately, we weren't taught how to use our body, taught about our very own self. And I see the Queen's Quarters done came in. Welcome in, love. Shout out to you. Shout out. That's Jamie, everybody. Peace, D-Ham. Welcome in. Welcome in. D-Ham, I know you are highly spiritual and knowledgeable when it comes to Christianity and the biblical side of knowledge and consciousness. But if you're familiar with any bit of this stuff, feel free to chime in or whatever the case may be. Well, welcome in, D-Ham. We'll have a really great build. As I was saying, many of us have been bound to certain things in our life that has created toxic situations that's difficult to walk away from. And we're going to talk about why it's difficult to do that. And like I said, it's linked to an overactive root chakra, okay? Like I said, the root chakra is perfectly fine. It's beautiful. It's healthy. But it's based on survival, feeding, fighting, and freaking, right? Feeding because we have to eat to live. We have to eat to stay alive, okay? Fighting because we got to protect ourselves. We have to defend, right? And freaking because we got to recreate and get into the next life as well. Recreate a future self and live again and again and again. Every animal has this basic concept. Know how to eat, know how to defend yourself, know how to recreate, right? Now, however they do that is unique to themselves, but they all do this. It's impossible to live without consumption. You have to take energy in, and when you pass on, you become energy. It's a circle of life. When we are in a state of war, we're often fighting to protect something or fighting to conquer something. This is about survival. This is a basic foundational need that we're trying to rise from and end. We don't want war. We don't want starvation, right? So, but anyway, we're in a first world country. So an overactive root chakra to us would look more like greed, materialism, money, things like that will attach to our ideology, to our personality. What do I have? What have I accomplished? How much have I made? Right. And this is who I am. And you can see that depicted in how people carry themselves, that this is mostly how they see themselves in the world, right? Through what they can get. Being very lustful is an overreactive root chakra, right? Always got to have it. Always got to have it. Always got to have it. Give me more, 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 right? Got to have this one, that one, and the other one too, okay? Can't settle down. Can't maintain a relationship because the hunger or desire for sexual activity is so high, you just rather stay single, okay? Overreactive. Can't get enough. Greed, again, hunger, overeating. You got all these flavors out here you can consume. Or we can go anywhere and get, you can have penguin if you want. We can go anywhere and eat anything. So we're not just eating like every other group in the world. Let me get somebody out of here. We're not going to do any games today. All right. So like every other group in the world, we have to survive. All right. But when you have an overreactive root chakra, it keeps you only in survival mode when there's so many more aspects to life to help us climb that mountain. Okay. So why is the devil red? Now, the devil, for many believers, a real being. Okay. And obviously, if I don't have to explain who the devil is, right? But the image we have depicted of the devil is a whole other thing. So have you guys ever asked yourself, why is the devil depicted as red? Just have you ever thought about that? Why is the devil red? Play a game here. Watch this. Just want you guys to see something. 1 second. Let's see here. Just type in devil. All right, so when you see devil, just type in this word. As you can see, this is what we get here, right? The devil's typically red. And this is what we get of the devil. But have any of you guys ever asked yourself, why is the devil red? Okay. Now, comment below. Why is the devil red, family? Until that question that was being spammed, absolutely it's not true. People troll. Fire. Okay. What root chakra is red? Okay, Annie. Good answers, guys. Lower self, Rakita said. See, listen. Notice how Rakita said lower self. I want you guys to keep that in mind, because the root chakra is your base and it's lower, right? It's right there in your pelvic area where those bottom three spinal, vertebrae are on your spine, okay? Because it's a reflection of a lower self in our root chakra. Now, occult world of Brother Devon, this brother will absolutely have all the answers. Follow him. He is amazing. This brother is intelligent and he loves this stuff. He goes swimming in it every single day. He loves it, man. He's engulfed in it. Me and his brother did some videos together, kind of getting into these topics, and we'll do some more. It's gonna be real fun. But yeah, Brother Devon, you're absolutely right. It's a reflection of lower self and the root chakra. However, we're not taught about the root chakra, so we just get this depiction of this devil is red. Many people, bash Christians with this. Why your devil look like a cartoon character? Like, come on, man, that's a human depiction of what they would deem as that. It's a symbolism, so it's leading to somewhere, but it doesn't make anything fake now. Okay, so we're going to get into why the devil has horn, the three-pronged pitchfork, all these different things. Okay, remember, what did I tell you? The red chakra exists between the three lower vertebrae in your rib cage, your spine. Okay, that's where your lower chakra exists, and there you have it, your three-pronged. These represents your ribs. Okay, family? So we just scratching the surface, but we're about to have some real learning activity going on. I want you guys to really think. This is in all of your religions, guys. Okay? So let's have some fun. It's a representation of your lower self. Absolutely. Then we talk about higher self. Just to give you, let's play some fun. Watch this. When we talk about higher self, we talk about rising through the ladder and getting to your crown chakra, right? Your crown chakra. You guys notice this is purple, right? Purple. Ultraviolet. Beautiful, right? See how this flower, this lotus flower is bursting open here? This is representing your pineal gland, which actually is a gland in your head, guys, that produces dimethyltryptamine. This is what helps you sleep. It's what creates dreams in your mind. It's the formula that helps you meditate and connect to higher consciousness, okay? Many of ours is calcified, hardened through the foods we eat, mainly through the water we drink. So much, the word's leaving my tongue right now, but it'll come back to me. So fluoride, so much fluoride. It's in toothpaste. All these things help to calcify the pineal gland. A very poor diet helps to calcify the pineal gland, making it inactive. So what you want is this to be active, okay? So you guys have heard of me doing mushrooms and salvia and different things like this, DMT itself, ayahuasca. These things are said to help unlock this pineal gland. Well, that's why people say you hallucinating. Some people believe it's, they just call it hallucinating, that you're seeing into yourself, okay? And how you truly see the world, thoughts you've really had, forcing you to have to deal with them and why you may think this thought. Some people see amazing colors and things of that nature, and they get this even in meditation. But we also have characters depicted in purple. Thanos, for one, is depicted in purple. And you say, well, he's not full of love and higher consciousness. Jesus has a purple sash. And it's for that reason, because when you climb the mountain and rise to your highest being, you become that of a Jesus. And that's why Jesus has a purple sash. And I'll show you guys that the good version of rising to this chakra. We're gonna go back to the root chakra, but I want you guys to just see how our whole world is showing us this, and we are ignoring it. Okay, let's see. And many of you guys have seen this all through your churches. You've seen this thrown over things like this at your church. My church, my pastor's wife, she loved doing arts and crafts and stuff. She would always create things like this, put them up throughout the church, and it was always purple. And not even she knew why. Okay, but why is Jesus depicted in purple, guys? Why? Because purple represents the highest chakra, the crown chakra. Jesus wear a crown of thorns, right? This is all symbolic, family. Notice this is even Jesus. They got purple in the background with Adrian Peters, and it just all works out that way. Obviously, it's for the Vikings, but just funny how it worked out that way. But you guys get this, right? And this is somebody getting into some real stuff here. Somebody might know something on this one. But it seems that we understand. Look at this. And symbolism works so amazingly. This is what I told you. I would pause a movie. Lacey and I, Jamie and I are watching a movie. I'll pause it. Look at that. See that purple in the background highlighted? This is all symbolism. Okay. Barney is purple, and Barney's full of love, right? I love you. You love me. We're a great big family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Okay. And I could go throughout and show you all these purple entities that represent something other than just what you see is they just decided to make them purple. No, way different than that. Now, Thanos, okay? Thanos is not full of love, right? But his mission is from a loving place, okay? Thanos knows that the world is doomed, all right? And the only way to heal the world or to protect it is to reduce the occupancy of the world. It's overcapacity. Nobody's going to be evil enough to do this. And if they had a choice, they would pick and choose because they wouldn't want their loved ones to die. Thanos was so bold in order to save humanity, he would become the greatest villain to kill or eliminate more people than Hitler, eliminate more people than any world leader you guys can think of combined in a single finger snap. And he said, I won't choose who will go. It's just going to be random, even if it's me. If you guys knew he had to sacrifice the greatest thing that he loved, his daughter, all to get these infinity stones, okay? These stones inside of it happen to be like chakra colors, right? These stones. There's no purple because he represents that purple. So I love watching movies just to see the esoteric side of it and learn all about that stuff, okay? Hang on one second. Why did that do that? Okay, so we're going to go back now. The devil being red. Let's do this. Okay, we talked about the devil being red. All right. We're going to move over just a little bit, okay? Let me see. I heard a different image there. Let me go back. Images. Oh, that's what I had. Okay. It's crazy. I don't think it's showing the image I wanted to show. Either way, you got Adam and Eve, or depicted here, Adam and Eve. Let's see here. What's her name? Sweetie Pie. Kevin, you can destroy the cherry God. Wrong, Kevin Wesley. Sweetie Pie, you in the wrong place, love. Ain't nobody here going for that. We all are equipped and well knowledgeable. If you type things like that, you're just gonna get a whole lot of people teaching you and probably telling you things you ain't ready to hear yet. So you're not gonna be able to. That's not gonna do that here. I'm just want to let you know. I know you believe you're saving people, but my intent is not to pull them from any religion. It's not the type of topic. This is about whatever you guys believe. Okay. You don't have to believe in the root chakra. You may believe in this story I'm showing you about right now. These concepts, from my understanding, is that they aim to help us accomplish these things, okay? Whether they're true or not. You guys may believe that these things are really real. That's absolutely fine, okay? I see them as being pulled from each other all throughout time, learning from each other, stealing from each other. And what we have here is like a big convoluted thing, right? Of information here. And you can see the similarities in it all. So right now we're talking about, back to this, right now we're talking about Adam and Eve, right? And this serpent. This serpent, guys, is in every culture, okay? In Hinduism, you have this serpent. In Egyptian culture, you have that serpent. And they see this serpent, they all see this serpent a little bit differently. Now, in America, in the Western world, we see the serpent as evil, right? Vile, cunning, poisonous, right? Type in how we see the serpent, guys. We even have terms for the serpent. We don't like somebody, we think they are con artists or underhanded. We call them a snake, right? Somebody got a evil words, we call them a snake, right? They venomous, right? Can't trust them. They're a snake, right? They're a snake in the grass, right? The snake is seen as bad because the snake here is who is being people recognize a snake as the devil here, right? Nagash, but that's probably too far ahead. We'll slow down. But people see this serpent here as representative of the devil, being evil, tricking Eve and Adam into consuming this fruit, right? But this a lot of this type of depictions leads to why we see serpents or snakes as evil. Even in this particular story, after they ate it, one of the things that the Bible's God says to Adam and Eve is the serpent will always be after their heel, and they'll be always after the head of the serpent. Kind of like painting them as direct enemies. Okay. Now the serpent gave Adam and Eve. The serpent is a manipulator. People see the serpent as a manipulator as well. You won't surely die, right, Eve? You won't surely die. God said, I'll surely die. You won't surely die. You'll just have knowledge. But the truth was, they didn't surely die. They actually did have knowledge. So some people look at it and be like, well, that serpent wasn't lying. People who look at the story with the conscious mind says, he didn't lie, though. People who just go along with the story, they just see that they say it lied, so they just say it lied. But when they ate the fruit, did they surely die? They lived for hundreds of years after that, and they did get knowledge. So he said, you'll just have the knowledge. God just don't want you to know the truth. If you eat this fruit, you'll have the knowledge of good and evil. Didn't they have the knowledge of good and evil? Didn't they then know that they were naked? They didn't even know they were naked. So the story itself, he did give them knowledge, okay? The fruit of knowledge. Now, this is something we understand as the beginning of time with the first two people that God created, right? Well, let's look at how other cultures look at it, okay? Let's do that. So this is Hinduism, okay? As you guys see, this serpent is actually behind one of their deities. Notice it's up high, hooded over the head. The way the cobra spreads its hood is symbolic for pineal gland opening. You saw this depicted in the lotus earlier, right? The pineal gland is opening. Let's see here. My bad, guys. Riding on the serpents, right? Serpents all around. Symbolizing wisdom, knowledge, protection, and the opening of the pineal gland with the sunburst behind this deity. And you guys notice that many deities have sunburst behind their head. This is all symbolic as well for something that we see every single day that we don't take into account, that every culture has looked up to this thing that rises every single day and developed their whole culture off of it. And many people in those cultures don't even realize it. It's amazing how we're a fish in water. Okay. Let's do this. Let's see here. Here's Ganesha even depicted with a serpent. The most called upon God. Ganesha again here. Ganesha again here. And I'm hoping you guys see what I see. Let me look at the screen. Okay, yeah, I see it. I have this one. I have this one right here. I've got this one where it's not going to show it. Dang. Took me to a whole different screen. So anyway, the other one trying to take me to some type of shopping thing. But every time I see these things, if I'm at some type of You know, I do like the little backyard sales in the community. I can't think of it right now. Swap meet, whatever you call it. If I'm at something like that and I see some stuff like this, I always get it. This is my favorite God, my favorite depicted God right here. It's neither here nor there, so we'll move on. But we're gonna go right here to Egypt. And as you can see, here's one of the serpent. Seems as if it's like Adam and Eve, right? So I want you to imagine if we went to, let's say the world ended today, some kind of crazy thing happened, and most of the planet, based on weather, say we all froze based on the weather. A comet hits the planet, and over 75% of the planet is frozen, right? And only a quarter of it survives. Now, say 1,000 years go by after this has happened, right? And those people that survived migrate to America, okay? They've never seen this land, okay? They're traveling the world. It changed things. It made life more vibrant for them when this storm happened. And so these people in this third world country, so to speak, they didn't necessarily have access to things. And so when this happened, it created a shift where they got an abundance of things, and the rest of the world was destroyed in this thing, right? So now 1,000 years go by. They've evolved their culture and tech. They travel. They come across the Americas, right? Now, they come across Plymouth Rock. I'm sorry. You know what I'm talking about, Plymouth Rock. What do you call it, guys, with the president's heads on it? Mount, God, dog. Hang on. Mount Rushmore. Brain fart. Hang on. Let's say you come across 1,000 years from now, right? Thank you, Divine. Let's say 1,000 years from now, these people come across Mount Rushmore, right? They don't know anything about this culture that was here, these people that was here. Now, what if they look at this and say, this must have been their gods? This must have been who they worshiped. Now, they wouldn't understand that these are just people carved in the stone that we elected as president in this system we created of government, okay? That this has nothing to do with who we worship at all. These was just damn people who we put in office. That's it, right? Literally all. Most of them weren't even moral people, okay? So just imagine you come here and you don't know anything about anything, and all of a sudden you think that these four men right here were somebody who were held in higher regard than what they actually were. And if in your world you do that, you worship things, you create statues of gods, you would automatically project that on the next culture, believing that's what they did, okay? In fact, it's just, you know, in fact, it's just depicting our history, right? They walk all throughout America. They see big old statues of like Abraham Lincoln sitting up tall, and the Statue of Liberty with its torch in the sky. I'm like, they must have believed in this stuff. And then they decide what we meant by the things carved on our walls, right? This is how cultures get changed over. This is how misunderstandings happen, because someone's painting their ideas, their thoughts, their culture on someone else's culture, okay? So the first was this. Before Adam and Eve, guys, people stumbled in to this right here, okay? Before there was ever an Adam and Eve story, people stumbled in to this image right here. This ultimately becomes Eve talking to the serpent. The serpent must be evil, because where they are, serpents are evil, because they have to fight these serpents off all the time. They are in high number where they live based on the climate. They're at a war with these snakes. So to them, the snake is a bad thing. You guys understand? So, hey, they see this as, look, something totally different than the beautiful idea that it already is. Now, you guys see the serpent right here on the forehead, right? This is representation of the pineal gland. Now, Hinduism comes behind this. Hinduism is 3,000 years older than Christianity. The Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavad Gita is 3,000 years predating the Bible, okay? Notice they put the serpent behind the head, the sunburst behind the head, as they studied from Egyptian culture first and migrated into India. These places are very, very close, guys, and that's why the cultures are very similar, okay? They use the peacock a lot of times, while Egypt uses the sunburst. I mean, uses the cobra. But this both represents the pineal gland, the sunburst opening, okay, and having knowledge and wisdom, okay? Again, the serpent represents the bearer of knowledge. But where does this come from, okay? Where does this come from, guys? We're going to learn something. Watch this. If you guys have ever heard of Kundalini, okay? Kundalini. We're going to get into Kundalini. Kundalini energy. Now notice this. See that chakra thrown back in there, those 7 energy points? See this Kundalini energy? Remember you guys said that the root chakra is representation of your lower self, or the devil is red as a representation of your lower self? Remember you guys say in religion, in Christianity, you'll say the devil is the serpent. They are interchangeable. It was the devil who deceived Adam and Eve. Some people say it was the serpent who deceived Adam and Eve, because this devil or your lower self are one and the same. But why devil? Why devil? Okay. Devil, meaning double, your double side, your other self, your lower vibrational self, which is who you see if you have an overreactive root chakra. But your double is your flesh. So you have a spirit side. Okay. This is where you dream. Okay. This is where you think. This is your spirit world, you call it. But your double, your flesh, is a whole other thing. This is where you feel lust. This is where you get hunger, because you got to keep that flesh alive, right? And you know, the Bible even conceptualizes this as separating your flesh from your spirit. You're either acting in the flesh or you're acting in the spirit. If you move by lust, meaning feelings you feel inside of your flesh, then that is not moving of the spirit, right? But if you're moving by righteousness, wanting better from the world, better from yourself, this is moving in spirit, okay? So you have a body, but you also have a mind or a soul. Your goal is to feed them both and to not be out of balance. So an overactive chakra has you feeding your flesh, because the need is to survive, have your flesh survive, okay? So I think this is very beautiful, guys. I don't know if you ever heard of Nagash, Nagar. All these different words are powerful words, not negative, like is in the word nigger today. Somebody said, this is not God. Y'all be on some crazy stuff. I had a low vibrational nightmare last night. It's time for me to come up off that, Kevin. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the goal is start off from you don't start off from here. You want to have all these going anyway, but unlocking these, you want to start from the bottom. Okay. And you're climbing the ladder. Many of you guys read the stories in the Bible. Naga, absolutely right, Devon. When you climbing the ladder, Jacob's ladder, you've heard of that story in the Bible. You've heard of Moses climbing the mountain to get the knowledge, which was the law from God, right? You've heard of let's see, the Jacob and Elijah climbing the mountain. I believe, hang on, of course, Jesus had to climb the mountain. You had Moses had to climb the mountain. You had, it's on the tip of my tongue, he had to sacrifice his son, and God put a ram in the bush. If D. Ham in here, who was that who had to climb the mountain? It's on my mind. Goodness gracious, come on now. Goodness gracious. What's his name, y'all? Help me out here. Who had to climb the mountain based on the sacrifice for God? I don't know why that man's name leaving my mind. That's crazy. I know that stuff through and through. But why mountains, right? Why are we climbing a mountain here? Okay. Because, and this crazy thing is you're in this big ass desert over here, and they talking about mountains, right? It's because that's symbolic, guys. Okay, Mount Sinai is the same. The Mount Sinai that Moses climbed to get the Ten Commandments is the same mountain that Jesus had to be crucified on. Skull Mountain is what they call it. And why is it Skull Mountain? Because this happens inside of your head and your pineal gland. And this is based on, different teaching. You may say, well, no, it's real. It really happened. Everybody has their thoughts and ideas. I'm telling you, all these cultures teach different things, and they have a lot of similarities. Do you understand? Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abraham. Abraham. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Abraham. That name itself is first ram. Okay. Ab meaning first in Hebrew, and then Ram, Abram. Abram was Abraham's first name, and then God changed it by putting Ra in it. By adding Abram, and they added Abraham, added the ham to it. But his name was Abram. Yeah, Abram took his son to the top of the mountain, right? Abraham and Isaac, absolutely. So we're all trying to go to the top of the mountain to be sacrificed, to do away with your flesh and become a higher vibrational being, right? Thank y'all. Everybody coming through now. Maybe I'm seeing your comments late because that was a while ago that I asked that question. All right, all right. So as you guys can see, you're trying to rise up and you sacrifice who you believe that you are, so you can become who you're supposed to be, so to speak, right? Beautiful idea, beautiful concept. But why are we stuck in hell? Okay, we're going to get to that. 1 second, guys. Let's get back to the root chakra. I was talking to you guys about an overreactive root chakra, right? Here, it's going to be mostly based in greed and lust, okay? Overeating, things of that nature, because we're in a first world country having access to a lot of things, okay? If you're in a third world country, your overreactive chakra is going to be linked to the desolate that you live into, right? Probably going to be a starvation. You'll eat anything. I don't care where it is or what it is. You'll see a homeless man in America eat out of the trash can. Guys, he wouldn't normally do this. If he was not in his root chakra, basic primal instincts trying to survive, he'd never dig through a trash can. But understand something. There's a part of you that will forsake all of that as a means to survive, okay? And this is why it's survival instincts. Y'all might say, I'd never walk up to a restaurant and eat somebody's leftover food off that table before the waitress come and remove it. I would never dig through a trash can and try to get that food, that burger that guy just threw in it. You don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. It's like thinking you can hold your breath until you pass away. It's like thinking you can hold your head underwater until you drown. Your body will not let you do this. So you'll be eaten out of the trash before you pass away. Trust me. So this is why laws should be put in place that if somebody is that down and bad, that downtrodden, and they're stealing food, they should not be jailed. They should be put in a shelter and given food, because you don't call them a criminal. Anybody will do this, guys. Anybody will scavenge if you strip them down. I know you guys have heard of, maybe you haven't heard of this, but some people believe that racism and things like that are going to always exist, because when we vibrate low and get into survival basic instincts, we'll always conquer each other and dominate and steal from each other and create this subjugation and hierarchy based on the need of survival. And while in a higher state of consciousness, this may not exist in us, in a lower state of consciousness, this will very much exist. And this is why when you look all the way back through time, the world is more savage. There was a time where the word grape didn't exist. There was a time where the word slave didn't exist. This was just life. So as you rise through your chakra, the goal is to learn more, gain more understanding, and move using your brain and soul too, not just using your body. Now, animals, they be in survival mode. We're not animals. Now, again, overreactive chakra. I'm talking about world conditions that lead to overactive chakra, okay? The first world country, third world country. But being in toxicity, constant arguments, constant disagreements, constant misunderstandings, things that keep your stress high can overreact your root chakra. This is why I call it hell. So the root chakra is known in Sanskrit as Muladhara, okay? It represents the foundation of our being. It's red, vibrant, and primal. These energies represent survival, security, and stability. They anchor us to the earth. They keep us alive, and they help us to meet most of our basic needs. But what happens when the energy is out of balance? When the root chakra is overreactive or misaligned, we become trapped in our lower vibrations. This is like fear, malice, war, and we see the world as a battlefield. Every man or woman as a potential threat. We lose empathy, we put up walls, and love is replaced by a guard or greed, and life becomes a constant struggle for survival. I always say the gates of hell are never closed. They are not locked. You can always leave. The people in hell want to be there. Nobody chooses anger, but once you have it, you don't want to let it go. Once someone makes you angry, it's like, okay, we're there now. Now let's go. It's up now. But no one would choose anger. Every one of us would choose joy over anger. Who the hell wants to be mad, right? Mad creates stress in the body. This is why this is a concept of hell. Nobody likes to be mad. No one likes to be sorrowful, sad. Someone died. Someone said something hurtful to you. You're mad at someone because of something they've done to you. These are all coming from the hellish mind state, a negative form of the mind. Okay? And when you're in hell, everyone looks like a demon. Okay? Now, earlier I said, everyone looks like an enemy on this battlefield when you're in toxic situations. You think everybody out to hurt you. The next partner, you think they're going to do what the last partner said. You see him as an enemy, somebody who's against you. You're always defensive. Your root chakra is overreactive. The work must be done, but it's internal. You got to do meditation. You got to separate yourself, and you got to stop thinking about that old stuff and focus on new thinking. For what you focus on expands, and what you ignore subsides or goes away, right? The state of what many would call hell. But let me tell you something profound. The gates of hell are not locked. They're wide open. All you got to do is walk out. Like I said, when you're in hell, everybody looks like a demon. You think everybody is out to get you. So everywhere you go, there will be how you see the world. That will still exist. So if you change, the world will change. So if you see the world as evil and everybody in is bad, you may have an overreactive root chakra. Okay. If you can't stand men, you may have an overreactive chakra, a root chakra. If you can't stand women, if so many women have broken your heart that you just can't stand women, you may have an overreactive root chakra. Okay. We're going to talk about the devil, the serpent, and the root chakra. Okay. I talked about in Western culture how it's depicted as the devil, red, fiery, and consumed by rage. But again, why red? Red is the color of the root chakra. This association is no accident. The devil represents our base desires, primal instincts that, when unchecked, lead us to cycles, suffering, and destruction. Guys, where does the devil live? Below, correct? Underneath us, right? In a world somewhere that's down, right? Somewhere below. Now, we know the earth is round, so it makes no sense to say that hell is either up or down, right? But this is because it's your foundational. It's the root chakra. It's the base, okay? But here's the paradox. The serpent, another symbol, which is demonized in Western thought, represents not just temptation. What else does it represent? We talked about the serpent representing evil, cunning, being venomous, having underlying motives, being deceptive in Western culture, in biblical culture, right? But in, let's say, in Egyptian culture, Hindu culture, well, I think we did cover that. It represents wisdom, right? It represents knowledge. So, of course, the story of Adam and Eve, the serpent offers knowledge. This act is painted as evil, as rebellion against God's divine order. But what if we see the serpent differently? In many cultures, the serpent is not a deceiver, but he's a teacher. Let's get to the serpent again. In Hindu culture, the serpent, or Kundalini, is the energy cord at the base of the spine. Now, if you think about, I'm Kemetic. That's absolutely right, Devon. So I said in Hindu culture, the serpent or Kundalini is the energy coiled at the base of the spine. Another place that is mentioned in the Bible, guys, is Moses' serpent. Okay, Moses' staff turns to a serpent. Let me show you guys this real quick. Okay, how you can see this in our culture today, because I don't want to move too fast and whatnot. Let me show you guys Caduceus. As you can see, guys, this is a Caduceus. It's two serpent climbing a staff with the burst at the very top, right? You guys see that, right? Of course, Moses' staff turned into a serpent. But this is a medical logo we use even today, showing that we also see the serpent as medicine. This is on every hospital, family. Right? Medical symbol, heal. Yep, to heal. Absolutely. So while we see the serpent as evil, all around you, you're shown that we also see this serpent as a positive being, bringing medicine and bringing wisdom, right? So the world is much bigger than what we assume. There's so much more knowledge in the world than what we have in our skulls. So I think it's best to be open-minded, okay? Would you rather live in the unknown or the known? Would you rather stake your pride into what you know, or be humble, recognizing there's so much more that you do not know? We've only lived just a few years, family. The world has existed for far longer than that. Let's open our minds and learn. It's a beautiful thing. This Kundalini energy, when it's awakened, family, it rises, activating each chakra, bringing enlightenment, wisdom, and divine connection. In Egyptian culture, the serpent represents healing and sovereignty. The cobra, which is on the pharaoh's crown, symbolizing divine authority and spiritual awakening. In these traditions, the serpent is not something to fear. It's something to embrace, okay? You are the serpent that you fear. People often run around calling people manipulators and deceivers. If you using your mind, family, your critical thinking faculty, you don't have to worry about anybody deceiving you, because your mind protects you, okay? Your mind protects you. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome in, Miss White. Your mind will protect you. If you are an expert martial arts technician, you're not worried about anybody running up and beating you up. You're not worried about that, because you know that you can protect yourself. So the weak worry about these types of things. Ground yourself, and you'll understand that you don't have to worry about any of that. You've already done the work to prepare for that, okay? But when we get out of our overreactive or survival mode, get out of our overreactive root chakra, which is survival mode, we can now try and climb to higher consciousness. And so that serpent or Kundalini energy, it teaches us that the way out of hell is up, up. Just as Jacob's ladder. I was talking to you about Jacob's ladder in the Bible. It represents the pathway to heaven. Your chakras represents the ladder to consciousness. By climbing this ladder, you reach more understanding. You have more perspective. The higher you go, the more you see, right? If you're at the top of a mountain, you can see a whole lot more than you can see at the bottom of it. Okay, but it's not easy. It takes discipline, self-reflection, and courage. You have to leave behind what no longer serves you. Kundalini, Kundalini, Kundalini. And I'll pull it up in a second too. But what was I saying? Leaving things that no longer serve you. Okay, toxic relationships, self-destructive habits, and limited beliefs. These are chains that keep you in hell, rather. And to ascend, you must open your heart, speak your truth, activate your intuition, and connect with these divine chakra in order to break free. Okay. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. 1 second. One second. So you can use religion to get through life. You can use these type of concepts to get through life. But if we had understood this stuff growing up, family, we better understand how to maintain and navigate our own energy. Again, we were taught that knowledge was outside of us, that's something we had to go get. But we're born all knowing, believe it or not. It's education that you have to go get. And that's your math, your science, your arithmetic, how we measure days of the week, calendar. All these things exist outside of you and require education because they're man-made. But you're born with all knowledge, meaning all information in your DNA to survive this world. You don't tell your body when to hit puberty. You don't know how you're hitting puberty. It just happens. You don't tell your body how to heal from a wound. Okay? It just happens. Okay? You don't tell your body how to dream. You don't tell your eyes how to break down light and process it into color. You don't tell your ears how to receive sound from the outside and bring it in and process it as sound. You're doing this outside of education, outside of will, because your vessel is a brain in and of itself. You understand? If we were taught how to work our body, like I told you guys, sun gazing, grounding, meditation, all these things are about going on the inside of us to regulate our energy, our spiritual energy, our mental energy, all of that stuff. When you're stuck in a form of mind, stressful situations, and you're trying to escape it, go inside, family. Go inside. We have cultures that back this stuff. We are divine. We can put power in so many things outside of us, but the moment that we go inside is the moment that we'll get the most done. The most free we'll ever be is when we unlock our own minds. Every one of us would like to change the world in some way. I'm sure of it. But what if every person in the world right now decided to go in their own mind and fix themselves? The whole world would be changed. It's just difficult to convince others that they need this change. Everybody don't want it. If you find yourself in a toxic situation and you cannot break away from it, if you find yourself consumed by greed, materialism, living in superficial concepts like, am I pretty, am I ugly, am I skinny, do I have a body, do she got money, do he got money, judging people about ridiculous concepts instead of their soul and the merit of their character. If you find yourself in these situations where you know that this ain't life, come on now, there's probably an imbalance, and the work is done on the inside. Okay, self-reflection, and again, meditation. They had this stuff down to a science to where they would even utter sounds for each chakra as they meditate, leading up into the crown chakra, which was complete silence. And we'll go over that. But I'm very interested in helping others who want to break away from negative situations, seeing the world differently so you can access what God has for you, or what your purpose, your true purpose is, becoming your greatest, best version of yourself. My next topic is going to break down how, in fact, are we slaves? We had a conversation here recently that has been stricken over a altercation. And we've been talking about slavery here lately. And I've been telling you guys that it, in fact, never went away, that we're very much still slaves, okay? And why this is a hot button word, I think a lot of it, in most part, is because we don't know that we still are, okay? And so I'm going to show you guys on a legal format, on a real format, why, in fact, we're still being ran by a country who's controlling us, and we don't know it. And that there's a whole different language out here that they speak that we don't know about, but we actually submit to it. There's a different way that they see us, a different way. And I don't mean white and black. I mean all human beings. We are seen as resources. We are owned. We are property. Okay, literally property. There's actual titles on you. Every one of you, there's a title that the government owns on you, proving that you are property. The government borrows money based on the titles that it has, just like a car loan. Okay? It's amazing. And I'm talking billions of dollars made off its citizens just for occupying them. Every country has different laws for their, what they call citizens, but I'm telling you what we really are. But there's a thing called maritime law. You know how each state has different laws? You got to understand them. Each country has different laws. Maritime law is universal. I'm going to show you guys how, based on this, which is a real actual system, proves that we are just hamsters on a wheel. Okay? And due to our lack of knowledge is why we continue on this path, making the very prison that we live in greater. All right, family? Hopefully you guys learned something today about the root chakra, hell, why the devil is red. I could go deeper and deeper. I've been on live for just a little while now, but I don't want to bombard you guys. We're gonna do this kind of in breadcrumbs, and of course, you guys can use your own research and all this type of stuff, and come back with more information, so we can just start having a build. Many of you guys is probably scratching the surface, so I'm going to respect that, and we're going to go a little bit slower. Okay, Devon, thank you so much for being involved, man. Make sure you hit that bell so you can see the next one. I like having you in here, kind of working as a co-teacher, saying some things and offering your intelligence as well, brother. So moving forward, we are moving forward, guys. We're no longer on the negative stuff. When you notice that people do not want to dialogue in a way that brings about healing, you just have to walk away and never look back. When you're trying to end it, when you're trying to make amends and make peace, and they're doing a whole bunch of stuff, bringing up old stuff, don't want to just squash it. They don't want to squash it. They want to beef. And what you have to do is leave them to do that on their own. Let them spin their wheels out and get their rocks off however they see fit, and just get back to your life. You tried, okay? I used to believe this. Avoiding a fight isn't your choice, because all someone has to do if they want to fight you is hit you. Well, that's in a physical realm. In a verbal realm, I do not have to accept that challenge. I've been thinking about it differently. How are you going to let somebody say something to you and you don't say nothing back? Simple. Let them talk. Don't take it personal. Destroy your ego. Look the other way and focus on what you want to expand. I tried last night, was willing to outright apologize, and I did make an apology video. They continue to constantly say, hurtful, mean things, all in the name of something they saying I said a year ago, a month ago, 2 days ago, when they have said things. When you do that, there'll be no mending. And I told you guys it takes two. I don't care if you're a therapist, a counselor, if the other person, if all they want to do is keep punishing you for something you said or did in the past, when they said or did things, instead of just squashing it, when you guys can say, it doesn't matter who started it, can we squash it? Doesn't matter who said it, doesn't matter what was said, can we just squash it? Sure, you said some things, sure, I said some things, can we just squash it? If they're just like, no, you said this, no, you said this at this time, remember this day when you said this, they're not there yet. All right. And so if you continue with them, you're going to say something else that they can't let go. You're going to say something else that they can't move past. Especially when you can walk around them. If they're right in front of you, if they're in the same room with you, sometimes you can't avoid them. But as difficult as it is to ignore this type of stuff, you just have to. And it should help to develop you in ways going forward. So because it's difficult, don't give in. Don't give in. Stay diligent, stay strong, ignore. Maybe there's something greater for you. And if you're going to go higher, that probably is a thing as far as trolling that isn't going to go away. They always say when you make it, anything that's ever been said negatively about you will be brought back up in a means to destroy you. And so if you want fame, be ready for the other side of it, right? So I just have to swallow my feelings and put them to the side and not pay attention to it. And know that I did, what I could to try and resolve it for everyone. Wanted my family to be left alone, but if I realize I can't make anyone stop talking about me, I can't make them stop talking about them. And while I wish I could, they just got to learn, hey, we'll be talked about potentially. But no more back and forth for me. Literally, no matter what. All right, let's move forward, guys. Peace to y'all. And thank you for stopping through. Come back tomorrow, okay? We're gonna have a good one. 7 a.m. Okay. I don't know why that live is showing PM. On mine it shows AM, but it won't. I don't know why it won't show PM to you guys. So that live y'all see up there, it's actually for AM, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Peace, y'all.